Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Hectorum. It just your friendly neighborhood adventurers here to go off into the sunset. Pretty sure the team's planning on going further into the Volstrom territories because we don't like those guys and we want to shove some sharp objects directly into them and/or spells. So, Mr. DM, set us a scene if you would.
Sure, thingamabob. The party recently has just arrived back from their interplanar magic bullshit. Everything is as you left it, which means that it's currently that sort of midday, mid-afternoon, gentle dampness that comes with these trenches. It's not like it's particularly unpleasant, but it's not a party show by any means. Having recently experienced all this new information, the party has a few choices to make, as well as the access to the forward teleporting guild should they need to travel back and get supplies before the army pushes forward in 2 days.
So I imagine Cable's probably just chilling out. I'm going to say he has Reggie on his shoulder, and they're like talking in whispered, hushed tones, like, "Yeah, I know, fine, but like," kind of muttering to themselves.
No, that was a lot to take in. As he's sort of just watching him talk to the bird.
Yeah. I mean, it's a job. It's a living. Can't be any more, I guess, strange than anything else I encounter.
With that attitude, stranger and stranger things will start showing up.
Yeah, that seems to be happening.
Either way, we should be ready for when we're pushing forward. I think we should get to the Mages Guild beforehand, but we've still got time before we need to leave. Not the Mages Guild. He said Flamekeep.
Flamekeep.
Should get to Flamekeep before. We've got plenty of time.
Alright. And maybe once we're past that and just waiting for the army and all the supply lines to be established on the way to Korheim, we could drop by Tarno's pen. You know, using the teleportation magics that seem to be pretty well established here.
Indeed. Frankly, all this stuff with Andromache has been going through my head so much, I'm not even quite sure what we need, what we're...
Well, I've been hoping to, find myself some new armor, since these old things are, frankly, falling apart by now. And also, there was that shop that we were recommended by some of the people here. I don't remember exactly what they sell, but might be worth checking out at least.
Right, yes. Thank you for the reminder. Wasn't even that long ago. I might just be losing my touch.
Well, you've had to deal with a lot of information, more than normal.
Nonetheless, it's something I should be used to. So then, we just going to head straight there for now?
To Flamekeep?
No, to the shop. We've got plenty of time before the army advances, and it won't do any good if we're just standing around Flamekeep doing nothing until they do.
True.
We have extra time. Might as well use it.
Fair point. Well, let's see what we can do about requisitioning use of a teleportation circle.
The specific details given to you about that special shop is that it's one that's a little bit outside Tarnospam, about like probably 3 hours walk or only like an hour, half an hour by horse. And it's at near one of the nearby hills. It's a particularly well set up dwarven manufacturing.
If we were to take our discs, would it take
About
as
the
long
same
as the
time,
horses?
about that half hour.
Okay. Alright. Well,
Assuming you're going from Tarnospam.
yeah, I would say we try and find requisition of a teleportation circle like you suggested and see what's going on with it. If we need to, we can just leave. We've got... Blessed be these discs. They're making travel quite a bit easier.
Although their lifespan is somewhat limited.
Well, in the limited lifespan that they produce, they still save us multitudes of hours.
You know, I didn't take care to fix it in my mind today, but there is one other spell that might be useful for a similar purpose to the discs.
Hmm?
You know how, back when you were first adjusting to your new magics, you conjured I want to say a griffin, rather than a horse?
Aye.
Oh. I don't typically keep that spell in my repertoire because it's, frankly, extremely powerful magic, and I can't call upon that type of magic too terribly often in the first place. But I might have to start keeping it around more often.
From what I gathered, it takes a while to cast, so...
Aye. But if you keep the creature around, then...
Aye, I suppose so.
Anyway, let's head back to Tarnospam.
He nods.
Cable, Strunov, do you, either of you have anything against heading back to Tarnospam?
Not at all, my big compadre. But,
Don't call me that.
Cable looks like, puts his hands up, and he's like, whoa, okay, alright. Regardless, I'm thinking that, you said store. One of my favorite activities happens to be shopping. Anything I might want?
Well, I don't actually remember what this specific store sells. I just remember it came highly recommended from one of the people here.
Alright, I guess we'll find out when I get there.
And Schoenhoff, what did you say?
Nope, no problems. Let's be
Okay.
off.
Aye. Everyone made sure that they're all packed up?
Cable just gives you a thumbs up.
As backed up as I need to be.
Let's check in with Rifter first, just to make sure that he knows we're not abandoning him here.
Aye.
Hey, Rifter, we're heading to Tarnospam to check on this shop that was recommended to us by one of the people here, and to hopefully get me some new armor. Is there anything you'd like us to get you while we're there? Something to speed you along with your recovery, or something of the sort?
I ain't no doctor. Anything of the sort that you think might help. I mean, y'all lot would know better than I. But, I see that you're just abandoning me, eh?
You know, I came here specifically so that you wouldn't think we're abandoning you.
Sounds like it to me.
We'll be back within a day. At latest.
But hey, if you're gonna be looking at things, you know, I could use more of the. And he makes like a little motion, slathering around his arm. Invisibility.
Garrett should probably know where to find that.
Rifter looks up at you with beady little eyes.
Alright. Well, we're off soon. Get some rest. Don't get too ahead of yourself while we're away. I know someone has to keep you sane, but try to stay sane without us for a little bit at least.
Nothing to worry about. I just been writing a letter, trying to send it to Miguel. You know. It's been a while since I've seen her. I've missed her greatly. I've just been thinking of ways to explain my predicament.
Do you know where she is at the moment?
Last we saw, she was at the Fighters Guild, or was that the Mercenaries Guild?
Ah, right. In Soju. Well, if you'd like, and you have the letter finished, I would be happy to take it to Tarnos and send it along the way. It should get there much more quickly than just sending it from here.
Thank you, mate. I'd much appreciate it. And Rifter gives you a little envelope. It's not signed to anything, but it has a little pink heart at the front. And yeah, Rifter then shoos you off as he would like to sleep.
Rest well.
Okay.
You know, it's not much, but here. Lork is gonna try and give Rifter a few lay on hands points to try and ease any aching in his arm or anything like that.
What a gentleman.
5 lay on hands points specifically.
Darius is going to shrug, look at Rifter, and say, well, I'm feeling a little invigorated. Might as well. And he's going to cast Greater Restoration on him.
Oh.
Wait, you have the component for that?
Wait, is there a component? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So true. Diamond dust. 10 gold diamond dust. That's so cringe. So what he does is, I feel like I've got better healing capabilities. He puts his hands out and nothing really happens. He's like, Lorik, I know I can do this. What's going on? It's...
Well, presumably it's like how... Well, I don't know what spell you're trying to cast right now, but you know that some spells require a material component, right? Like,
what?
The box. That spell that spell that had you send the box, you literally needed gold to cast it.
Well, yeah, but I assumed that was part of the pact, and...
No, that's just part of magic. Some spells transmute items into the effect.
So do I need, like, an arm or something?
I doubt it. I don't know of any healing magics that require body parts. What are you trying to do exactly?
It's... Recently, I've been feeling more in tune ever since our journey to Flamekeep originally, and my talk with the Grand Master about, I don't know, the healing capability of my flames, and I just feel like I could do more, and there's this energy that I can feel behind it, and I know that I could do it. I don't know.
It sounds to me like...
And it's not the same as, like, this, and he sort of flicks him in the head and gives him a lay on hands point, but it's more like fixing something than healing it.
I think I know the spell you're trying to invoke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my magical naivete.
No,
than feeling.
Your previous magic was entirely instinct. Wasn't studied. You don't have anything to apologize for. I think what you're describing would probably need some diamond dust. A lot of the things with repairing the body and the soul take diamonds. Don't ask me why, I don't know.
Makes no sense. That has whatever. Well, while we're there, we can pick some up. It couldn't be that expensive, and when I come back, I'll try it. Here I was hoping to have a build-up, a moment. Sorry, Rifta.
Yeah, it's all good.
We should probably pick up a few gold worth of diamond dust.
Alright.
And
we did get something of a heavy purse for this here, so...
I know it's probably less than what you had anticipated keeping, but... I feel like we should also grab a somewhat sizable diamond in case one of us falls in battle. It's something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time, but...
It is a good thing to have in case. I am going to be monitoring everything else that we're buying, though, because the more money we don't spend, the more money we will have in the future.
Aye. But with things growing more and more dangerous, I think that having a diamond to bring someone back to life is a good investment.
He nods a couple times. Alright, well...
Alright, enough of this. Let's head back to Tarnos.
Rest well, Rifter.
Rifter is already napping. He has not heard you.
Look, you bored him to sleep.
Perfect.
Cable is just gonna kind of butt in. He says, "When you say fix something, the closest thing I can reckon is the spell mending, but that's definitely not the same thing."
I think he's aiming for a greater restoration or something of the sort. That's what it sounded like.
I couldn't tell you the name of any of it.
I won't be able to tell you either. Sorry.
I mean, I could tell you one of the spells that I cast, where I summon a wall of fire.
Yes, but that one's somewhat more straightforward.
Ain't that just wall of fire?
That's... yes.
The Cable's just kind of blinking, absent-mindedly, not really getting the joke.
You know, I have to wonder sometimes how, with the way that arcanists tend to be, we get spells that have such simple names as Wall of Fire and Magic Missile.
See, I like to think that it's because the more innovative of us don't have time for stupid things like, you know, overly complicated names.
I think you underestimate how frequently people want to make stupid names for things.
I mean, I never understood naming spells after yourself.
That's just vanity.
I mean, hey, if you were going to be the man who, I don't know, made something, discovered something, you might want to put your name in just so the history books remember you.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think necessarily magic is just a list of spells that people discover. It's a creation process. It's more than that. So while you can say, oh, I created the floating disc, I'm sure that there are plenty of hundreds of different variations of that same floating disc that man who created it could, quote-unquote created it, could not cast himself without investigating into it. They might look the same, they might have similar effects, but they're all different magic.
And then sometimes you get someone who focuses far too much on one specific type of magic. Like, that person with all the hand spells, I can't remember his name.
I feel like I know who you're talking about. Whatever. We should go. We're wasting time.
I'm not going to dwell on the
I don't know
of someone who makes all those spells that do almost the same thing.
Call him Yoshikage Kira. Who? What did I just say? I think I had an intervention from Drumaki himself.
You see Reggie just, that's all he adds in, and Cable just goes, oh, true.
Look, I assume that the party's walking as they're having this really discussion. I don't want to have to walk after this discussion and risk more really stupid conversations.
We go to the teleportation place.
Goes to the teleporter and steps within the 3 pillars of marble-lined stone. You instruct the lead mage there where you're headed, that being the specific market in Tarnos Pem, and just like that, the world around you begins to dissolve, and instead finds it replaced with the oh-so-familiar Soju Pem. As you step out into the marketplace, it's quite alive and abuzz for this specific time in the afternoon. There's a good bit of business smells wafting through the air. Quite a shame that you can't be here for too long. The sun is set to set in about 4 hours or so, giving you plenty enough time to get to your store if you so make it your priority.
Alright, so, do we want to do the store today or tomorrow?
That depends. Do you plan on being richer tomorrow?
Well, I figure we don't know how long this one will take, so we should allot it the most potential time.
And tell you what, we go to the Mages Guild, we get the components, we try to find an armorer who... Actually, no, let's hold off on the armor. That may actually be the store that was recommended.
I mean, we're already passing through. I assume we're literally in the Mages Guild since we came through Teleportation Circle.
You currently got warped to the city center, the marketplace.
Oh, okay. Alright. We could also always drop by on our way back if we know what we want. It doesn't need to be a long trip. It's whatever's on the way.
That said, the Mages Guild would not be more than like 6 or 7 minutes away by walk.
So if we set out for that store right now, we would be getting back at minimum about 2 hours after sunset. Would that be alright with everyone?
Are you sure? I think if we're not there for an hour, it should be just barely before sunset.
Out of character, wasn't it 3 hours out of the city?
3 hours on foot and a half hour with our discs.
Okay.
And
Oh yeah, but our discs only have a couple minutes. Oh, okay, I thought they were only partially charged.
Nope, it's been a full day since you used them.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
You used them on the evening of the 39th, and it is now like afternoon on the 40th.
Actually, no. Right, we should be able to use the discs now. I lost track of time with what happened earlier today.
That's alright, it's easy to lose track. Especially when time doesn't quite pass. We can drop by the Mages Guild. It's not too far away.
Cable just lights a cigarette, or I'm sorry, a cigar. Whatever you're planning, they're real. Which is the draconic word for friend, for those not in the know.
Didn't take you for one to know Draconic.
Well, it's one of the most common languages in the Empire.
I'm honored in the Mages Guild.
Part of me forgets that you're a mage.
Kinda. It runs in the family, but I ain't really... It's the shooty type of magic, not the fun type of magic.
No, I think shooting's plenty fun.
You and me too, partner. I was just being humble.
I assume we're walking towards the Mages Guild as we speak.
Of course.
To Vance.
As the party turns the final corner towards the Mages Guild, you see as it has its signature front-facing decals, as the little bits of energy spark and float around it. You know what? Actually, wait a second. I actually have the page for this. All right, we did this all those months ago. You know, you're only going to be there for a second, so it doesn't matter. As you take your step inside, you're reminded of immediately just how disorienting it is to be in this specific one, because rather than having specific localized areas where they allow for that space compression, instead it's just a single endless corridor, with each time you go through a new room it being a new floor.
Oh. I swear, I get sick to my stomach every time we walk through a door.
I feel like whichever Arcanist makes these types of spaces take some kind of sadistic pleasure in it.
It is, if nothing else, at least very space efficient. After a brief bit of travel though, considering that there's only a single path forward, you very quickly find yourself at one that seems to be a proper supply. A middle-aged tiefling woman waits behind the counter, currently performing a bit of alchemy.
So, to review, Lorik, we need some diamond dust, a diamond. What was the worth of the diamond that we need?
Roughly 30 gold, although Schoenhoff being a practicing member of the guild might give us a discount.
Aye, perhaps we can also twist the Warfront angle as well.
I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah. Alright, so diamond dust. How much diamond dust do you think I would need?
Well, if it is a greater restoration, probably 10 gold. I would... Just... I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Alright. I'm prepared to lose 40 gold. Struenhoff, don't let me lose 40 gold.
You got it.
Nods a couple times and looks at Struenhoff. I think you're up.
Is this everything?
A diamond worth 30 and 10 gold worth of diamond dust.
Or to try and let them know exactly what we're using it for. A diamond for a revivify spell and diamond dust for a greater restoration spell.
Aye, indeed. Intelligent not to attach the cost to it.
Alright then.
Would you mind typing that out for me real quick? As you step forward to the tiefling woman, she gives you not much care for the briefest moment as she finishes stirring up a small little bit of the alchemy within a small cauldron before looking up and saying, "Hey there, what can I do for you?"
Not much, just looking to purchase all this.
Oh, she takes a look at your list and says, "Yeah, we can do that for you. Are you a member?"
I happen to be.
Ah, fantastic. Can I get your name real quick?
True enough.
She moves underneath the desk and pulls out on a drawer, which then has a tablet which she like looks at, touches for a moment, and after a few seconds she says, "Sure thing. How many of each would you like?"
Is it one of each on the list?
At the moment, yes, but
One of each for now.
Alright. And that should be pretty simple. Would be that should be 30 gold if you got it.
Of course. I pull out of my own pouch to pay for it.
Alright.
Oh,
Alright, I'll be back in just a moment. And she steps behind, and sort of the wall breaks apart as she walks through it before it closes back up behind her.
Darius, out of the
thank you, Schwinhoff.
the thick pouch, does take the 30 as well, and he sorts out 30 relatively quickly, being his money counting skills better than anyone else.
Money snack.
And layers the coins, deck shuffling style, like card trick deck shuffling style, layers them across in front of Sternhoff and says, "This is yours. If you're paying for it, then I'm paying for you. Or we're paying for it. We should take it out of the conglomerate for now."
15 of it. I haven't had to pay for much with you guys in a long time.
Alright then.
Just keep in mind, we do still have roughly 600 gold in this conglomerate. I appreciate you trying to save the money for the conglomerate for now, though.
I just drug.
Wasn't it closer to 800?
600
admittedly
gold.
don't remember.
600 gold and 20 platinum, but I'm not letting anybody touch the platinum.
Right. And frankly, I think platinum would come under a bit of scrutiny in most places.
It's more so about the individual appearance value of the note. There's more to money than just the amount that it is, how it's paid, how different metals appreciate. There's more gold in the world than there is platinum, that kind of thing.
Right.
The only currency that I think is worth holding on to
As
physically
you're
is
speaking
platinum.
with him, you see as the stone wall in front of you begins to crumble once more in a somewhat comedic and delicate situation, as she has clearly brought much more than she should have, with one hand having a lot of your materials, while halfway up that arm she has a bag, and in the other side she has a small bristling of a clearly very spiky thorn. She drops the diamond and a small pack of diamond dust on the table, and with that hand moves a small twig out of her mouth and says, "Sorry, give me just a moment," and she throws a lot of it in a mortar and pestle. Sorry, let's finish that up, shall we?
Don't worry about it.
She promptly exchanges the goods and asks if there's anything else, so she resumes pestling, including some of which includes a small bit of that diamond, a different diamond.
I don't believe we need anything else, I say, turning to the rest of the group.
No, those two reagents should be everything.
Dust for the arm and a diamond for whoever's soul decides to leave their body first.
Well, then I hope you all have the best of luck. As she breaks the twig in half, as it spills this almost sparky fire into the cauldron, and she begins stirring it.
Hopefully we don't ever have to use the diamond. But if we do, then
Now,
we
let's not invest in an asset that we're not going to use. He chuckles.
Worst case scenario, we retire from adventuring and we can sell the diamond again.
Well, diamonds depreciate, so...
I won't even pretend to understand how that works.
Listen. And as they're walking out, he starts going off on the diamond market and an aristocratic family owning a majority of the diamonds and holding the supply, and He goes on the rant.
After the rant finishes, Cable just says, I mean, if y'all are alive, won't you be, like, in control of 90% of the... whatever.
You can't just grab an economy by the neck, unfortunately. It never ends well.
I mean, maybe not for the economy. Well, whatever. And y'all figure it out. Anyway.
Somehow I understand less than before all this.
Does the party have anything else they will perform at the Mages Guild?
I don't think so.
Reggie will do a dance. That's what he will perform. Nah, yeah, we'll just head over to the shop, I suppose.
The party takes a few steps outside. It's only been about half an hour, so you still got plenty of time. A few more minutes of walking your way to the outskirts of town, and you're finally at a spot where you think you could actually pull out your boards and start using it without causing too much of a ruckus nearby. Taking a gasp by the view around you as you hover through the air, you notice that, well, of course, Tarnos Pem had always been forested. You never really realized just how thick that forestry was once you get a fair bit off the beaten path. There are certain spots where you just see nothing but leaves in the trees for miles and miles as you make your way to the predetermined store location.
You know, it makes me both happy and sad to know that perhaps one day, no, for certain one day, all of these trees will be replaced by buildings. Joyed for humanity, the civilizations, for all beings dragonborn, and still somewhat lamenting the loss of the beauty of nature. But society moves on.
It is a bit of a sad thing to see a wild thing tamed, but for better or for worse, it's gonna happen.
And if nothing else, the druid circles will keep it from encroaching too far.
I do wonder how long druids will last as a social class, though. Not as a spellcaster, but...
Well, as long as gods of nature and spirits of the world itself exist and need agents in this world, they'll still have a great deal of influence.
Perhaps.
I agree. As long as there are big, mean monsters out there that, don't take kindly to folk messing around in their territory, a connection is always going to be thankful, I suppose.
As the party makes their way closer, you start to get a little bit more of hints of that future coming a little bit sooner, as once you're about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way through, you start to see bits of the forest being cleared away and the scent of smoke coming up to your nose. It's not quite acrid right now as it's fairly dissolved, but it's nonetheless very smoky and bitter.
Just deep breath, taking in the area. Shall we?
As you make your way to the last little bit, you start to see in the horizon a few different small metal shacks, each of which clearly being made with dwarven architecture. There's a single stone gate up front that seems to be very well worn, opened and closed many times, with the tracks in front of it being well pressed with heavy laden wheels. As you make your way down to that entrance, you start to actually see at this corridor manufactory, as it is called, the few different shops, each of which have their own very, very explicit tasks, from the blacksmiths to leather workers to ones that are the more specialty glassmiths or general stores. Up in the center is a small statue to Gond. To either side lie a few different trenches. Well, not trenches, shouts. Well built for resting and helping horses after a long day's journey.
It's an interesting little miniature craft town.
Alright.
So, what was the shop named again that we were looking for?
As the orc would be able to remind you, it is in fact this entire location. This entire thing. I'll go ahead and post it.
I'm the man.
Was specifically described to be one of the places that the Imperial Army gets a lot of their supplies from.
Was there somebody that he told us to talk to specifically? I don't remember exactly.
We can say so, even though I don't think he did in person. Like, it's reasonable as between the lines.
Okay.
After searching around for just a touch, you end up finding your way to the head dwarf who you were told to meet up with should you ever need. He's currently sitting back, relaxed, with his feet up on a table, not giving a care.
Well met, sir. As Darius approaches and gives his short bow.
As you bow, you, after not hearing anything for a second, kind of peek upwards, and you see that he can't even see you behind his wide brim hat that he's resting under.
Mood.
Darius sort of still like halfway down, like looks at Lorik and like looks at him. Can you?
Hello. I'm...
I think he's sleeping.
You might be.
Cable's just gonna go ahead and, Sir? Partner?
And that he lifts up his hat, he looks at you and says, "Nice hat."
Nice hat, sir. And I tip my hat to him.
He rolls back, slides his beer off to the side so that he doesn't knock it over as he gets out of the chair, and the absolute minutiae of his stature is much more apparent, as even for dwarves he's fairly short, but nonetheless still exceptionally bulky. Takes a few steps forward, which he has to, even though it's only a few feet, and he reaches up to shake your hand.
I bend down so that I can get like eye level on him, and I shake his hand.
That's very bending down to get high. He's probably only like 2.5 feet tall.
Like sitting down?
Oh,
Yeah, you would probably be resting with one of your hands on the ground in order to be eye level with him.
okay, never mind. I'm going to go ahead and give him my whole hand. I'm still bending over a little just so I can reach my hand to his. And I'll shake it. And I go ahead and hold out my hand to my other 3 compatriots. And I'm going to go ahead and say, my friends here were recommended this store. Who exactly did you say told us to come here?
Darius notices the energy of the situation, and like, for anyone closely watching, almost like a literal shift in where his Adam's apple is slightly downwards, and he goes, I think the general was the one that let us know.
Lork gives a little bit of a look. Like
The
y'all know
metaphorical eyebrow returns.
Reggie?
no, this is far beyond that.
Reggie is looking at you, and you swear an owl is scowling at you. And you cannot see Cable's eyes anymore. His entire face has been covered by his hat now.
Listen, Darius has the banker of an old western city on his undergarments. Like, if he took off his overcoat, that would be pretty spot on, like spaghetti western, like the banker coming to the bar to have a drink.
Listen, that is not going to stop Lork from imitating that cat that I posted in the player chat.
Well, he'll continue up on the actual last line said, despite a lot of that being out of character, and he says, well, then you must already know who I am, Darian Corridor. But I might ask, I don't know anything about the likes of you.
Dare I say it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Darius Vitrion.
I am Nominus Lork. This is Struenhof. This is embarrassing, but I don't think I've ever actually gotten your surname before.
Yeah, I don't give it out.
Fair enough.
And he shrugs.
And our other friend here is Cable McCrea.
Cable doesn't say anything. He turns around and he begins smoking. a wicked puff from his cigar.
Do you mind taking that outside?
Yes.
He looks up at you. You don't even have to say a word, Cable. He looks up at Lork and says, why, you got a problem with it?
Well, if you don't, then I don't.
He looks over and says, what kind are they?
They're a tiefling brand. My wife, sure, she found these. I think they're called Blue Fire. I'm not entirely sure. She orders them for me. They are spicy as the devil.
Give me just a moment. He waddles around behind the desk off to the side, pulls out, and he brings along his own cigar, one that's got a little bit of a blue ring on the front that sparkles in the wind and says, care for a trade?
Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and hand him mine, and I will take his. I will offer him a match as well.
He respectfully declines and just flicks his thumb, and a small flame protrudes from it.
I see. You like to press a dissertation, yours. See, I'm of the opinion that a wooden match reserves the flavor.
He'll pull it down and accept.
If he does that, I'll go ahead and give it to him. Same trick I did before when you first met me. On the back of my boot, gonna go ahead and light my match. How does my cigar taste?
It's certainly a well expected change. It's got it's a much earthier flavor. It's got a fair bit of a almost damp coldness to it, but not in an entirely negative way. Instead, it's got it in the way that really makes you feel like you're in control, like you're your own person there. It's got a bit of a after a little bit of time, you have a pulling through, almost as if those bits of diamond dust that you bought earlier, as if you're breathing through them.
Okay.
It's got a very nice filtered taste.
As he
Filtered
exhales, he's gonna go ahead and inspect it, give it a half smile, and say, "What is this, friend?"
He hands you the box that he had off to the side when he brought it over. As you take a look down, it's in Dwarven, and do any of you know Dwarvish?
Let me see if I do. I know a few languages.
Can't say I do, sir.
Cowboy Darius.
Listen,
Cowboy
Darius did
Darius.
live in the boonies for a large part of his life.
No, I know Infernal. That's my other language. I know Elvish, Infernal, Draconic.
Yo,
Yeah.
between you and me, we can converse with demons and devils.
True.
Well, quite frankly, I don't know if anyone has some outside of Dwarven lands, but if they do, they'd probably call it something along the lines of broadline diamond.
I see. Well, I think I would reckon this seems like the kind of thing I would want after a good day. Something to, I don't know, make me feel like I did a good job.
He laughs a little and says, is today not one of those days?
I can't say I really did much today, but it looks like it's turning out to be.
Well, frankly, the fact that you haven't gone insane today from what we did yesterday is plenty enough for me to prove your strength.
Oh, I might have just already been mad. There's only, and you see as his face gets very grim, there's only so much you can see before stuff starts phasing you. I mean, once a beholder tears a man into dust, no, there ain't nothing much that's gonna surprise you after that.
Let me tell you, friend, that's something that I've identified with more than anything else you've said recently. And he's sort of like eyes like actually narrow, like pupils narrowed, like I know what you mean.
He nods, and on the grim note, he's gonna do one more puff. This is damn good though.
Ain't it? Now, what you here for, so that we can make this trade worthwhile? What can we do to help actually get you working, get me working, so that you can feel satisfied about it?
He awkwardly defers to his friends.
Lork is going to defer to Darius since he's the one actually adapted to the situation.
Clueless.
Well, damn, always back to me, huh? Well, there's a couple things here. We each have had the armor sets that we're in right now for quite some time. Would be nice to shake things up a bit. But there's something that I've been holding on to for a while that I haven't really had any opportunity for, and getting a direct recommendation and all. I imagine you're some of the best smiths in the Empire. And he pulls out the rods of, I believe you called it Atenium or something, that we got from Calcus's demiplane oh so long ago.
Oh, so long ago.
Unrefined Atenium, 4 spools of it. I know something about this being a part of an alloy. Don't know if this sweetens the deal at all.
If you allow it, like halfway through, he just tries to grab it.
His hands are out. He's holding it out for him to touch.
Yeah, so you start saying your thing, and he just grabs it and starts walking past you. opens the door out of the specific building you're in and just kicks it to leave it open.
He's following. Even his gait has changed. He's walking a lot more wide. No more narrow-hipped femboy Darius walk.
The nightmare. He's going. As two of you get out, he does stop for a brief moment as he looks back at the rest of the three and looks up at Darius. Are they coming? Or just you?
I reckon they could come if they close their mouths. Come on!
He just continues walking. He's not gonna wait if they don't hurry. He makes
He's
his way
following.
down to a what starts off looking like a fairly simple metal shack, opens up to have a staircase leading just underground to a slightly enclosed area. As he heads down, he turns on a few of the different lights nearby with prestidigitation, and the candlelight helps thread its way through the nearby little bit of a bunker. As it's lit up and you're able to actually take assessment of the situation, there's a bunch of shit in here that you have no idea what it does. The most, the only thing that seems even remotely close to something you can understand is that there's a few different optics devices that are hanging from the ceiling that he can move around and slide to get different viewpoints on without having to move. Like different magnifying glasses, lenses, some of them concentric, some of them designed to reflect back so that he can see from behind, but beyond that, the rest of it's just God only knows.
My, this is quite the workshop.
Yep. He takes it, he breaks off a single piece of one of the strands after, like, attempting to do so with his hands and then obviously just rolling his head for a moment, moving over and grabbing a big nasty piece of mithril pliers and working it down until he manages to get a piece off. Anyone else coming along?
But well.
Yeah, as I said in the in-game chat, he's still very bewildered about this entire situation, but he's not going to let that stop him from actually getting done what needs to be done.
After about 6 or so minutes of pressing down on it and using a few different tools, some of which just bolt up with a spark of lightning between two ends, some of them that go with the light green that holds the small spark of metal in between it, while it just pelts it with different chromatic colors, and the final third one which just presses down on it really freaking hard. He turns around, looks at you, and says, "Yup, it's real."
Alright, so what's that mean for us?
It means that whatever you fuse it into has a hell of a lot of magical potential in it. You throw that baby in some steel, and it'll light up like it's, hold on, I'm remembering my own lore.
Give me a second, I have to lore.
Carrot. Like, it's the fourth carrot.
My. And with the amount that we got there, what do you say that we could make with it?
Stuff like daggers or other small bits not included. If we were to work it into some metal while we were working it, any one of them could get yourself some fancy standard weapons, or two of them for a big piece of armor.
Alright. Lorik, I say you were looking for some new armor. Why don't you take half of this and set it into that armor you're making? You're
And
taking
I
a
guess
lot of
to
hits forth
give you
anyways.
some layman's terms, since I don't assume many of you do much crafting.
I really just perform basic maintenance on my own equipment.
Only trading after it's been crafted.
Well, let me ask you this. You ever seen armor with more than one enchantment?
Rarely.
Yes, actually, recently.
Let me hear it.
It seemed to have multiple glyphs on it, for lack of a better term, and the people bearing the armor were able to wield various enchantments on the armor to bolster each other's defenses and offenses.
Lorik, I got some of that armor afterwards. It's not the armor, it's the people.
Oh. Never mind then. I had simply thought it was the armor because of the way that the armor itself started to glow.
He looks at Darius, says, "You got it on you?"
It's in this bag here. It's rather heavy.
If you want me to make sure, I can do that.
He's going to reach in and just pull it out easily.
After a moment, he confirms that, yeah, whatever it wasn't part of the armor.
But hell, metal's metal.
Yeah, me worried there for a moment. Thought we might have to do something different. No, the reason you don't see many armors or weapons have more than one type of enchantment is because normally, when you do, it gets rid of the old one. And that's just a waste of a lot of people's time and a lot of people's money. Throwing some of this bad boy on, throwing it in spirals for weapons in offense or in plates for, well, defense. You end up getting the ability to switch between a few different things. In other words, you'll be able to have 3 different enchantments on anything that you're making with it. So, with that note in the commendation of the general himself, what you looking for?
Well, I've been hoping to get something that offers a bit more protection than this old splint mail. Lord taps on himself. Maybe even upgrading to full plate if you have any that would fit me.
We got plenty that'll fit you just off on the side, but you looking for something special or just for...
Well, if you can work some of that Atenium into it, then I would consider that special enough.
I could do it in a few days.
Alright. We would have to come back for it, but...
I'd have to go get Adelie and have her help through, but we can make it work.
Alright.
I'd be overjoyed if you'd be willing to let me use all 6 of them, but... Not on this, but just to be able to say I worked with all of it.
We can find some other things for you to make with it.
And even if we can't find a use for all 6, then perhaps some of the extras could be used just by means of payment for some of these earlier projects. Not payment in its entirety, but...
Well, whatever that comes out to you, I ain't gonna be the one to talk to you about that.
Alright.
Adelino.
I've had something on me for a while. It's been what I've been using for basically the entire time I've been with this group here, and it's been getting a little overloaded on what I'm able to do with it at this point. As he pulls out of the little side dimension, he clips the spear out of the ground, and both hands, like palms open, moves it forward. It's like 4 times his height, so so it's you think the Atenium would help with managing that, helping the allow me to do.
I'm gonna ask a question. Considering this room is only like 5 feet tall, are you able to actually like have it out here?
Oh, I mean, Lork is on his
you guys are crouching.
He could angle it, like, potentially. He could also potentially, like, have it halfway pulled out of the pocket dimension, and, like, have it phase out in certain parts, so, like, it's as if it's, like, disappearing into the walls, but, like, he can, like, move it through and show him parts of it. If you need to work on it at any point, I can pull it out outside, but...
I guess the only real question for you is what would you want with it? Just making something like it, changing that one, which you feel?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think I could move on from this one. It's been. You got a workshop. You got a big workshop here. You got one tool that you should be replacing, but you used it so much that you know you can't. It's got a place in your workshop no matter what it's like, no matter how raggedy it is.
He's just staring at you with a blank face, and after a few moments, I ain't got any clue what in the nine hells you're talking about. If I got something better, I'm using it.
Alright. It's got value to me, and my point is...
He looks
I don't
up
think
to
I
the
can
side, up through one of the walls for a brief moment. Unless you count Adeline.
Well, the way you describe her, I don't think that anyone better could come along.
He gives a pretty hefty chuckle.
Nonetheless, I'm probably thinking something like incorporating it in. Allow me to keep using this more.
Does
Make
it
sure
have
nothing
different parts?
And he sort of moves it through. So the spear tip is its own material. It's enchanted in a way that if you were to cut yourself on it, it will not heal for a good amount of time. So be cautious if you're handling it. And then he pulls through the hilt all the way to the back, and then the back has, and he goes through basically all of the different parts of it and how it's kind of a little bit chocked full on stuff.
He brings up how, well, if I use about half one of the bundles, I can put some fancy stuff for that rear tip of yours. And I guess if we're already using one of those bundles, he looks over at Cable and says, "So friend, don't tell me that all those arrows just for show."
Evan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I missed it. What'd you say?
I don't take, as he looks over to you with, while trying to account for the other half of that specific spindle, he says, "I don't suppose those arrows are just for show, are they?"
No, sir. They are for shooting and killing.
If I can find a way to heat them up enough. How you feel about some new arrows?
That'll depend on what they do, sir. I think my arrows right now are doing me quite a bit of justice, and I think I like to save my coin for my wife and kids. I think you understand. But if you got something that might be worth my time, I can, check it out.
I suppose that one of our other friends would quite like a knife made of the stuff. He's a bit of a collector of those sort of things, and I'm sure he would appreciate the practicality of an adamantite knife.
I bet he would.
We can make it work. And in regards to your what'll it do, well, what do you want it to do? A few different layers of enchanting will get you to do just about anything. From traveling through something you don't want it to hit, causing it to move things that in ways they shouldn't, confusing the absolute heck out of anything.
You got anything that might deter locals? Like a kind of like a fireball, but localized to the arrow.
Yeah, we can do that.
Alright, anything quite like that? That sounds like it's right up my alley. That's the problem with, bow and arrow. You can only hit one target.
He lastly looks at Shunov. Well, quiet one, we got 2 of them left. Anything you're looking for?
2 of what left? What was he referencing?
The Atonium rods.
Well, what else can you make out of these things?
His eyes glaze over for just a moment, He's clearly just a tad upset by that. He takes a few moments and recomposes himself, and he says, "Anything you need."
Darius pokes his head over and says, "You do have a newly, let's say, less useful necklace. Could potentially make that a little bit more useful again."
Might even be able to enchant it to be a more potent spell focus if you put some Hectorum in that.
That's a good point. Alright then, I say as I take it off and show it to him. Would you make a fitting that rod into here then?
I can do a hell of a lot more than that, but I'll make it work.
Alright then.
Honestly, you've done a lot for us, Sternhoff. I'd say. What about? And he turns to the smith. I don't know a whole lot about this craft, so stop me if I'm saying something that ain't possible. But what about working the Hectorum into the metal and creating a spell focus? Use both of the rods for it.
He just laughed. He says, "Son, that's one of the best uses for it."
All right.
It's one of the reasons why it's so good at taking up all them different flavors.
I'll settle for that then, I guess.
Lastly, he looks at Darius and says, "Well, you mind if I keep the last one for anything that I need to do for repairs while making, or as a bit of a prize left over?"
It's all yours, friend.
He's doing a quick little bit of math in his head. Nah, I'm too dumb for this. Go talk to her. I'll let her know what I'm doing, and she'll figure out the price.
All right. We appreciate this.
Alright.
Thank you.
He just nods his head and says, "Well, go on."
He's making his way out.
Lork is wasting no time in moving to a place where he can actually stand up again.
And he pokes his after they leave. He pokes his head and says, "I'll leave the spear outside. You can get it in, however, whenever you like."
As you make your way up into the other room nearby, into the one that is above ground and not unreasonably cramped, you both notice a exceptional degree of mundane weapons and a few that are of higher quality, as well as a glass case with some exceptionally both well decorated and clearly very sharp weapons behind. In front of it is a dwarf woman about 40% taller than he is, but not looking too much different.
I take it you're the better half?
Is that what he's calling me now? Oh, he must be in trouble for something.
Now
Give
for
me
the
just a
real
moment.
question
I'm finishing
to...
out, figuring out how much it is. I'll get to you in just a sec.
No worries.
For the real question to see if JC is truly a man of culture or not, do the dwarf women have beards?
Yes.
Good.
I said that she looks the same.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good point. I had missed that.
She pulls out a few different mugs from underneath and simply hands them to each of you. Go ahead, go rest down for a moment. It'll take a bit.
I appreciate it. He drinks. He sits down next to Lorik, wherever Lorik is. Leans over and goes, "Oh, it hurts a little bit speaking like that."
You put on quite the show.
I spoke. You remember I told you about the family that I used to have. That it was on the border, somewhere around. I've been able to move a little bit past it. It's not as difficult anymore.
Alright.
But my point is, there I was slipping back into it again. My point is, it was somewhere in the middle of nowhere, so.
Similar sorts there.
Indeed. It's easy to forget that I lived out there for so long.
Lord kind of slings his arm over Darius' shoulder and hugs him close.
Cute.
He leans his head in.
Cable just mutters under his breath. We all should remember where we come from a little bit, I think. Keeps us grounded.
When I told you about the things that we've seen, I should say, it's from home.
Not the funnest of places, I imagine.
Indeed not. The last time
She calls
smoked.
out from across the room, just real quick. You said you were you friends with General Thanax?
Working companions.
Continue.
The last time I smoked, it was not much of a smoke, but more of an incense, ritualistic, toxic to most creatures, but wildly psychedelic, and the point
Cable.
that I'm getting at is, the smoke gave me interesting memories.
Ceremonial. Yeah, I heard a few folks that do that. Can't say I really relate. This is just a thing I do to stay mellowed out.
I'd hate to dampen the mood by explaining any of the rituals, so...
Oh, I can't say I've ever had the, I guess, pleasure of smoking it. One downside to, well, this. And Lord kind of gestures at his
Himself.
face. Yeah. Well, not exactly the easiest to properly hold a cigar or something of the like and actually partake of it.
Hey, sorry, last one before I leave you be till you get your answer. Aside from the one about, the big bad explosion arrows, you want any of them actually, like, enchanted or just leaving space for it?
Darius puts his hands up real quick. The spear, the back end of it, could you make it so that it pushes people a distance away, something like 10 feet, 15 feet?
She puts up her finger for a second, says a few words that you're unable to hear, and then, yep, we can do that.
Well,
I appreciate it, man.
If it's not too much trouble, I would appreciate if you could magically reinforce the armor a bit more than normal. If it's no trouble.
But just durability, or
just more protective.
Yep, we got you.
Well, thanks.
Although, if you're gonna be around me, you should probably get some fire resistance on that thing.
It hasn't been an issue so far.
Also, just while it's actually fresh, and I'm gonna out of character let you guys know how these work for when you actually get them when we develop the stat blocks later. The way these specific ones work is that as a free action, essentially, as long as something else isn't currently happening, you can switch between the modes of the specific enchantments. So even though each of them can hold 3, you can't necessarily use more than one of them at a time. For example, you can't have a +2, a +1, and a +3 AC, because you'd only be able to have one of them active at a time.
I see.
But you could have one that's a +3 AC, and then one that's like a fire resistance. And switch between those.
Totally topical.
Yeah.
Takes giving you protection to a whole new level.
Well, tell you what, if we get another big payday like this at some point, I will happily get a protection from fire enchantment or something of the sort, but I don't want to strain our funding for the time being too much.
Of course, I was making a joke. I was making an innuendo, but you clearly didn't pick up on it.
He says, normally we go a bit higher, but you're letting him keep some, and you're a friend of his and all that. As she says, as she completely ignores your saying that you're not friends and instead work colleagues. And continues along with, how sounds 200 now and 200 when you pick it up?
Lork looks to Darius.
Darius is conflicted right now. He is he is torn between, God, do I push my luck here? Can I traitor sense? Can I use my traitor senses, quote unquote?
You can go ahead and give me an insight with intelligence.
Oh Jesus.
Or charisma. Either one's fine.
I'm gonna be right back while he's doing this stuff.
I'll just do a raw then. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
You get the general feeling that she's very much part of the dwarf archetype of being stubborn. She's made her offer.
All right. If that's what your offer is, then that's what we'll take.
All right.
You can feel, as you have your arm around him, you can feel Darius physically cringe as he removes the 200 gold from the purse. Like,
you would swear, if just for a moment, that heating cloak you got him stopped working, or sorry, heating necklace you got him stopped working.
He goes ice cold for a moment as it touches his fingers, and then as it leaves his fingers, he collapses on the ground and dies instantly.
Alright, what's your guys' favorite dies of cringe gif?
Can I get back to you on that?
Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't have an answer for that.
Damn.
I really like this one. This is one of my favorite ones. It's pretty simple, but...
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think some of them will be ready in a week, but knowing him, one of them is going to take longer because he'll get way too engaged on it. So you want to check back in like week and a half, 2 weeks?
That sounds reasonable. Just one thing, if there's one that I could get a time frame specifically on, it's the spear, because it's I can summon it at will. So if it's done and I know it'll be done, then I can just grab it.
I mean, unless he had a misunderstanding, there ain't nothing a part of it that's already on that rear piece, right?
Not at the moment, I don't believe.
Yeah, when he's done with his measurements, and unless he's lying, that should be about now. You can just take it.
Well, that's a nice surprise.
Yeah, he's telling me he's done, but that normally means that he's expecting you to take a few minutes and finish your beer. So how about you follow his line and just probably head down in like 10 minutes?
Aye, aye, ma'am. As he gives like a light salute.
She just looks at you a bit confused before turning around, working on stuff. Darius was wise and decided not to.
Good.
Very good.
The hells hath no fury like a dwarf scorned.
True.
So, Cable, Tuna,
Yes.
y'all drinking your beer? Or are you just looking at it confusedly?
I will drink it.
Drinking.
So, after your first sip, you notice it's strong as hell. It's fitting up to the stereotype.
Ooh, hey! Ooh, this takes me back. And I'm going to drink more of it.
You mind making me a con real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Cable fucking dies.
Save or just check?
Save.
Alright.
Hey, pretty good.
I did that. Disadvantage, lol.
Seeing Cable handle it, Darius is gonna look at him with a little bit of a smirk and go, Racia.
I would like to down mine like Giorno downs the tea.
I would like to down mine as well, because Cable says
If
you're wrong.
both of you are actually just fucking reaming it, just go ahead and give me 2 with disadvantage. And Chad, you know,
Wait.
just for fun, give me 1 regular.
Sure.
Cable, don't do it. You won't.
Do con with disadvantage?
Yeah, con save with this.
Oh lord.
So Darius, in his moment of hubris, is like, "Hell, this dude doesn't even know that I'm immune to alcohol." And then 2/3 of the way through, you're like, "Wait a second, shit, maybe. Wait, no."
Not only am I
It
immune
starts
to
connecting.
alcohol,
You start connecting the dots.
not only am I immune to alcohol, I'm double immune to alcohol.
Right, it's like 2/3 of the way through, you're starting to realize, "Oh shit, wait a second."
No,
You're
they
not double
could
immune
not
to
have.
alcohol.
There's no goddamn way they face on the table.
Shaggy, this isn't weed.
Right.
And so-
You're not double immune to alcohol, are you?
Yes, I am. I'm a paladin and I'm
Paladin
Yuan.
doesn't get immunity to poison though.
Oh, okay.
That's disease.
Oh, right. It was just
Just,
you. Yeah,
what
yeah.
is these?
Yeah.
I am biologically incapable of not. Dies of cringe. Shock stop.
Lorik is just gonna kind of. He's pacing himself like a responsible adult, and he's going to give Darius a pat on the back to cure poison.
Hold on. You can get to that later.
Oh, I see.
He like his
doing
arm is
the
still
bad
up.
DM move of taking
his
away
face is on
player
the table.
agency.
Cable is drinking and puffing. He is after he downs it, he just got oh, excuse me.
As you're going through, you're starting off racing through it because, you know, you're trying to win. And then you notice that Darius, as he pulls a little bit ahead past halfway, he starts slowing down a lot. And I mean a lot. You don't know from what you've seen Darius to be the kind of person that sandbags, but if you didn't know any better, that's the vibe you'd get, because for some reason he's just barely having a sip a minute right now.
As I reach the near bottom, I look over at Darius. What does Darius is like? I guess facial expression. Does it? Can he gleam anything from it?
You can.
I'm
you already
asking
know
Chad.
that as you know, people get intoxicated, they start slurring their speech. It's like that, but he's still very much in control of his senses. Everything's just moving physically slowly on him.
Oh, so is he talking slow?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you're looking at Lorik. Like you look at Schönhoff, and you know the two of you look at each other normally, and then you look at Lorik, and for some reason he's breathing it very quickly. as he's pacing, he's moving quite fast.
He's just gonna look at Darius, and as like he reaches like the thin line, like there's just like a sip left of his drink, he's gonna say, "Partner, do you wanna? I mean, there's no shame in wanting to stop this. This seems like a very childish contest, anyway."
Zawaldo!
Darius stops time and fucking stabs me.
Ichiyo keika! Tokyo tomare!
Man, you must have watched more JoJo or something, because that's like the fourth one.
Yes, he watched so much JoJo.
Watching JoJo? That's kind of gay.
But yeah, Cable's just looking at him like, you all right, partner?
Hell, I don't know what's going on.
So, as you
How
look
do
at
I
everything
feel?
else, Darius, somewhat strangely, as you like you're still feeling fine. Like you feel weird, but you seem like everything's fine. And you just look and you hear, "Are you doing everything okay, partner?"
He's doing the Animal Crossing noises.
As Cable speaks his sentence that you heard just a moment ago, but it happens at about 3 times the speed that he's actually saying it.
Lord?
Slow down.
And so you hear Cable as he says, "Slow down."
Lord looks very concerned at everyone else and kind of sets his
Lord,
barely
for
touched drink
you,
aside.
You hear as Cable says, "There's no shame in not finishing it, partner." And then you hear as Darius says, "Slow down."
Partner, I reckon we give this over. And
like to you, you seem like everything's just fine, Cable. Each of you seem like everything's fine. It's just like, you know, I'll go ahead and break the veil. You're all suffering different effects of slows, and Darius is slowed a hell of a lot more than the two of you.
I see.
And so everything that's not slowed seems like it's happening fast. Which is why Darius was pacing, or Lork was pacing around at light speed.
Oh, no. Lork wasn't actually pacing. He was pacing himself with the drink.
For future reference, if it's a magical effect, I do
Yeah.
have it. No, I'm just kidding.
Something voluntarily.
Well, it's not an automatic save. It makes a save.
Yeah, Lork is going to set his drink to the side and kind of gingerly offer to take the cups from everyone else.
Yeah, Cable's gonna go ahead and give him his cup, and he's gonna like slap his cheeks. He's gonna look for water to slash his face on. He's gonna try to sober up. He said, he just goes, "Oh, I think I overdid it this time."
You're just gonna get a pat on the head for 5 lay on hands points to cure poison.
No, hold on. Come on,
he says.
Come
If it's
on.
magical, then it's not a
Okay,
necessary.
cleansing touch.
No.
Take a shit on.
I'm saying, come on. I'm saying, like, come on, don't do this yet. Let them have fun.
What? I mean, nah. Cable's trying to sober up. That was.
Okay, hold on. As you move over to the nearby sink and you fill it up with water and you lift and you splash it up to your hands, it's very bizarre seeing the water just come at you. It's like a very slow speed. You're able to just count like 2 seconds before the water splashes into your face after swiping at it from the bottom of the sink.
You just see as he splashes, and then his eyes light up in surprise as the water hits his face. Does that help me at all to sober up?
Barely. It makes you more aware of the fact that everything around you seems to be traveling weird. Is weird time shit.
I look at Reggie, and he just He just gives me a light ahoo, and Cable just goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry, Reggie. This is my bad." And yeah, he's gonna go ahead and just I don't know. He's gonna just try to sober up best he can.
Is he gonna ask Lork to crunchitize him, Captain?
Yeah, he's gonna look over to Lorik, and he like, because he's a little bit intoxicated, he like slings his arm over him, and he says, "For real, you got anything to do with this?"
At this point, Lorik is going to try to lay on hands, and if that doesn't work, he's gonna spend a cleansing touch.
Would you mind making me medicine real quick?
Oh shit. You make me roll a medicine check in my own house.
Medicine.
Actually, this was okay.
That was okay.
It was above average.
It's not gone all the way, but at least you're, when you look around, the stuff is moving normal speed, Mr. Cable.
Okay. In that case...
At this point, you are just regular drunk, or at least regular tipsy.
Okay.
This is why you do not chug dwarven spirits.
Listen, I've been around the block. I thought I could handle myself. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
So what's Darius? How's Darius reacting to this information? What is his honest reaction? Dies of cringe.
And then eventually Darius stopped thinking.
Sure enough, what's your reaction?
Am I conscious?
Yes.
I mean, you gotta...
All you see is that Darius is moving slowly and Cable and Lorik are both moving fast.
I'm just gonna keep spectating.
I guess the rest of you see is he's just zooted.
Darius, like, still not really paying attention to what's going on after the slowdown, is kind of just reset himself to the drink is up, and he's like downing it again because he's not really paying attention.
Oh no. Yeah, Cable is done with the drinky drink. He's gonna go ahead and lightly tap Darius on the back, and he's gonna say, "Partner, I think it's time we hit the hay."
So you hear that's, you know, I think it's something I think.
Cable's just gonna look down and realize that what exactly he's talking to, or who exactly he's talking to, how messed up he is, and he's just gonna go ahead and look at Lorik, and he's gonna say, I think this is your area of expertise and working with him, but yeah, this."
Lorik takes a deep breath, and after a moment of contemplation says, "Darius, this is an intervention."
Do you know what's wrong with Cable?
That's a good one, actually.
Lork is going to gesture to take the drink from Darius. And leave his hand out there to take the drink once Darius is able to recognize it.
The slowest eye roll physically possible from Darius in the slow moment. So it's like just barely clockwise motion. It probably takes him a full minute for his eyes. Like each second turn, the second hand on the clock goes as his eyes roll. And he starts extending his arm like 3/4 of the way through.
Lork gives a weird chuckle sigh mix as he takes a drink from Darius and sets it aside. And if Darius shows any inclination to sober up, he is going to have a cleansing touch ready.
He still doesn't know that he's drunk. He's just confused at what the fuck's going on with Caleb.
Oh no.
The drink, it makes you slow.
Oh.
Do you want me to sober you up?
Why are you talking so slowly, Lorik? As he's already cleansing touched himself.
Well, actually cleansing touch would take an action, which for you would take like 30 seconds.
Oh, true.
Nah,
Listen,
yeah.
he's touching. He's
always
literally
touching
already
some-
touching himself.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of gay.
His
It is
cells
kinda
are attached to each other, so you're always touching yourself.
Considering that Schunhoff's not talking, you guys just think he's taking it like a champ. I don't think the party would know, do you, Schunhoff?
Chernoff is actually dead.
I knew him well.
Just watching still.
To Strunhoff, all he sees is boom,
I love it. I love bush to bush.
Y'all about
Clown
done
to
with your drinks?
I would say so, yes.
You want another, or are you gonna go down there?
I'm good for the time being, but I don't think my back can take going down there again. Thank you, though.
Yeah, alright.
I'm going down on time. That's my spare after all. Alright.
She pulls her back a bit, her neck becoming more straight with it, and her head tilting back. Yeah, it's getting pretty late. Y'all heading back tonight? It's like 3 hours to town.
We've got our own transportation, makes it only about a half hour.
Fancy you.
One of the
Anyway,
perks of
he's
being,
waiting for you. Come on.
He's making his way out.
Yeah, head on down. You see is the entirety of one of the walls of this bunker is just filled with different schematic diagrams of both your weapon as well as a new fancy-ass piece of plate armor, single well-refined dagger, that big old necklace, and a few different pieces of arrow specifications given his specific kind of bow.
My, you got working on that fast.
Yep. Everything look good to you?
He reviews all of the things and looks at his spear. What's the verdict?
Are you asking me or him?
You. Like, he asked, well, what I think of it, but I don't know what any of it is, like, as a person.
Gotcha. It'll work.
Hell, it'll work.
Now, for me, it's getting quite late, so I'm gonna say then unless you're planning on spending the night somewhere away from us, you best start preparing to spend the night somewhere even farther away from us, because we're gonna go to sleep. So, you staying with us or not?
We'll be heading out. We appreciate the offer, though.
And skedaddle. Skidoo.
All right, he is going out, and he's going to come back up and hurry Lorik along too.
You know, for spending the night in Tarnos Pen, I really should take you all to one of my favorite places in town. It never really had much need for an inn because, well, the Enclave was there, but it was sometimes nice to be able to step away for a night and just
partake in some perilous, heretical acts to the Order.
Well, not necessarily literally just take a night away from the people that you've been spending the past 3 months with.
Oh, I'm wounded.
You know what I mean.
As you continue the conversation and begin to mount up on your hoverboards, you start traveling on down to Tarnos Pem about half an hour before sunset, pretty much lining up your timing perfectly.
Either way, it's quite possibly my favorite inn that I've ever been to, and I would like to, well, show it to everyone, and maybe we could spend the night there. I'll pay. I have more than enough gold of my own to pay for a night.
You've been talking it up a lot. Hell, should be as good as you're talking it up,
Hey, Shunho.
Better be.
Yeah.
Would you mind making me specifically a dexterity check? Without the Darius bonus?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You just click dexterity. Yeah.
Each of you here is soon as one of the motors starts getting farther and farther behind. Shunoff, give me a second one real quick, because the party looks back. Nice. You see his, he starts to wobble and almost falls off for a moment, but then just absolutely recovers it by just completely almost backflipping through it, like grabbing onto it, and just in a moment of absolute unknown Shad energy that you didn't even think such an old man could do, he ends up spinning around on it and ends up looping back around to being on top of it and reclaims his balance.
Wonderful trick there.
I can't whistle, but Cable whistles. He's like, yeah, that.
Getting a bit of exercise in.
Does that come out slower for us, or?
Really, yeah.
Damn, Sturnoff really is just a Giga Chad.
Me being like, I'm trying to make this a message about drunk driving and how you shouldn't do it, and Golden is just like, but what if I did
I'm
anyway?
booze cruising, baby.
God's strongest drunk driver versus the devil's commuting
Drunk
school
drivers are
children.
responsible for 36% of fatalities. I can't believe that it's safer than being a sober driver.
Big sobriety attempting to suppress God's strongest drunk drivers.
Oh no!
As you return to the big old capital, Lorik, would you like to set the scene as you attempt to direct the party there, or will that be something for a different night?
Here's the thing. I literally just came up with the idea on a whim. I have no fucking idea what the inn is like. I just know that Lorik knows about it.
The party is approaching the outskirts of the of corridor. You see a few of the last little bits of people nearby, are working, taking a bit of the recently chopped down trees and processing them down into charcoal. And you finally get to take a few more breaths of once again woodland, slightly damp air. Cold, clean, and very nice.
It's nice here, Laura.
It's better than most of the other inns I've been to. That's what I'll say.
It's a nice little getaway. It's not anything particularly fancy or grand, but it's nice to have a place to get away to every now and then.
And unless anybody else has anything they'd like to talk about, that's probably a good spot to end it so that you can fully prepare to set the scene next session.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wait, what?
What do you mean, what?
I have no fucking idea what the inn is like.
Yeah, that's why you got a week.
Wait, this wasn't the deal.
He has altered the deal. Right? He
Sorry, I
doesn't
do not
alter any
change
further.
it further.
No.
Well, anyone?
Yeah, I'm good to go. I'm ready to depart.
This is good news.
Well, I guess Lork's gonna splurge a bit and get the party 2 rooms.
Well, we'll figure that out next time. Because you haven't arrived at the inn yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys are traveling back. You only had just made it like a third of the way back to the city, where, like clearing where like the burning of the charcoal and trees are. You're gonna be making your way back to town, to the capital.
Misunderstood and misheard.
Apparently multiple of us did, and that's okay. Because right now, I'm glad that even with this somewhat shorter session, that we were able to get these 2 hours in despite my slightly incapacitated state. Anyone else have anything they'd like to say before the stream goes off?
Penis.
That's pretty gay. Anyone have a serious comment?
I left all
Thanks
my
for
treasure
watching,
in
Brett.
one place.
Nice. Now, my question is this place real?
The One Piece! The One Piece is real! Can we get much higher?
I hate everything. Why are my nudes on Twitter.com?
Can we get much higher?
And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. Have a good one.